Hello, Cloud Geeks. Today is the day three of the session. I hope you all are doing great. And today is the day three of the session, and we have covered so far Azure Cloud Services, core cloud computing, and a little bit hands-on part also. And today, Niriksha will be taking the entire. She will be covering the rest part of the AZ900 syllabus. So if you have any doubts, any queries related to previous syllabus, please do ask your queries in the comment section so that she can clear your doubts. And this PPT or the slides we will share you through your mail so that you can get a reference while preparing for your AZ900 exam. And so a little quick announcement from my side. So everyone has to join our Discord channel. And okay, let me share the Discord server link. It's stickering in your screen. I'm sharing the Discord server link through to you. So you all have to join our Discord server community for appearing in the quiz. And the quiz will be live at tomorrow at 7 p.m. and you all have to join the Discord server community at 7 p.m. sharp. And the quiz will be based on the syllabus that has already been covered by Riksha, specifically on AZ900. Over. So let me give a brief intro about Niriksha again. So she is cloud engineer and she is Microsoft certified, and she is a multi-face personality doing a lot of contribution in community in cloud world. Okay, so over to you, Niriksha.
Hi, everybody. So, today's topic is going to be very interesting because you're going to learn the last and the final chapter of AZ900. So, stay tuned, guys. Yeah, so today's agenda is looking big, but uh, it's all the core solutions which is available in Azure. You'll get to know about the uh, management tools, security features, the network security, the core identity services, and the Azure governance and the compliance resources. Then methods of for planning and managing costs. And finally, we have the service level agreement, the agreement between the two parties, that is the Azure and the client. So we have at the first we have the IoT Hub, IoT Central and Azure Sphere. So what might be IoT? So IoT, it's like a jargon which is used, the Internet of Things, which is like a collection of cloud services that are used to connect, monitor, and control billions of IT assets. Sorry, IoT assets. So in simpler terms, when you take an IoT solution, basically it is made up of one or more IoT devices that is used to communicate with one or more backend services hosted in the cloud. So then you come when you come to Azure Sphere. So Azure Spheres are the services and products that allows vendors of IoT devices to increase the security by combining a specific system on a chip, like maybe a Arduino board or Raspberry Pi. So the Azure Sphere is like a custom Linux-based microcontroller operating system, which is used to run. These devices will run Azure Sphere certified chips that is used to connect through the Azure Sphere security service. So I'll just show you the demo, like how one of the things work. So this is the IoT Hub. So if you go and create, search it on this tab, you get the IoT Hub, and you can create a IoT Hub. So basically, if you so as I even Azure is telling, create an IoT Hub to help you connect, monitor, and manage billions of your assets. So basically, you can use the resource group same way like how you managed to create resources yesterday. So I have already created one. So this is my IoT Hub, which I have created. So basically, the number of messages, total number of messages used. So how do you get to know? So basically, here are the devices. So basically, you can add a device. So you can add any device. So I have added one device. So I have to share the whole screen. Just a minute. So here you get the device ID. This is the device ID, the primary key, and this is the connection string. So this is the connection string. Basically, you're going to connect it to the connector device to the IoT Hub. So I'm just going to copy it, and as you can see my screen, so this is a Raspberry Pi IoT online simulator. So basically, the breadboard, all this Raspberry Pi simulator is already existing. So basically, if you come and come to this line and see, I have copied the connection string, right? So basically, if you copy this same connection string, this code is already written by default. You have just have to paste the connection string and run it. So you can see the, yes, the light might be glowing. Yeah, see, you can see the messages is being sent. Like if I, yeah, see, message is being sent. You can see that the light is getting glowed. So here you can see, right, message ID 7, device ID is Raspberry Pi web client, and what is the temperature. So this is just an example and hands-on on IoT Hub. Yeah. So you can also use the connectivity of Azure Logic Apps or other analytics services to enhance your IoT device concepts. So there are also IoT quotas and throttling. So these are the thing is, what you know, when you use IoT device, it differs from one client to other, such as browsers or mobile apps. So they are often embedded systems with no human operator. So it can be deployed in remote locations where physical access is very expensive, basically where there is less access of humans, or might be it is only reachable through the solution backend. So as you have seen the demo, I can go to the next topic, that is the Azure Analytics and HT Insight. So when you come to the Azure Databricks, so here they are going to use the high level data services like big data. Everybody might have heard about big data. What is big data? So yeah, here when you come to Azure Synaptic Analytics, it is formally called as SQL Data Warehouse. So it is a cloud-based enterprise that leverages massively parallel processing to run quickly complex queries across petabytes of data. Use Azure as a key component, which is now we are using Azure as a big key component of big data solution. So they are using Polybase, TSQL queries, the copy statements, and there is a partnership between the Databricks and Azure to combine the service and show. So when you come to the Azure connector, it uses three of the connections. Basically, it has a Spark driver to Azure Synapses, then Spark driver and executors to a storage account. Basically, how it's just saying that how we are connecting Azure Synapse to a storage account. So when you're coming to Databricks, I'll just show the demo again. So here you come to the Azure Databricks. So when you create, you can also create like same way, putting the name of the Databricks and then going to the networking review and create. So since I have already created a Databricks service, so here this is the overview. So you can see that this status is active. So you will also get a workspace for this, which is having where you can perform your large number of queries in Databricks. So I'm going to launch the workspace. So here it is using, you can see it's asking to sign in and the authentication. So here you can create notebook, data imports, partner connect. Then even it's going to give a 5-minute tutorial like how you can do. So here it's mostly used for data science and machine learning part. Those who are into data science and machine learning can use Databricks faster pace. So when you come to the workspace, there is also shared and users. So basically, I can clone this, or I can even share the clusters which you have created to. So you can take any example. I have taken a Scala, or you can even take as Python, and you can run this. Actually, run this, it'll run. And basically, to run, you have to make use of the clusters. So here you can see that my cluster is waiting to start. So it's going to take a bit of time. So you can see these are the clusters. So if you come to the compute here, you can create any number of clusters, as you can see. So cluster is used to run a large number of data science projects or machine learning. So basically here you can come and clone the cluster, or you can start the cluster. See, are you sure you want to start the cluster? So you can attach notebooks, libraries, the Spark UIs. So what is the event log which was started, which is terminated? So you'll get all the logs which was done by the users. Then there's no metrics found. So this was about Azure Databricks. So what is machine learning? Anybody? What is machine learning? So it is you might have heard in AWS the SageMaker. So similarly in Azure also we have Azure Machine Learning. So it is like an enterprise grade machine learning service to build and deploy methods faster. So you can go to the studio experience to get the training. So I will show the demo of the studio itself. So to get a clear picture of what exactly I'm trying to tell. So here I can create a machine learning workspace. So I'm going to create a machine learning workspace. Just naming it as peering one. So here it's like a managed identity which enables Azure resources to resources to authenticate cloud services without storing credentials in code. So once it is enabled, all the permissions can be granted by Azure-based rules. So like yesterday, I've shown how you can assign an administrator, or you can assign read-only access. Similar way, even in this, you can access only identity-based access or credential-based access. So I'm going to just create it. So as you can see, it's initializing the development. So yeah. So when you come to machine learning, you have to understand there is AI involved. So there is a lot of responsibility when you're coming into the machine learning part. So there is deep integration with Azure services, which accelerates productivity with built-in integration. There is Power BI and services such as synaptic analysis. You have the cognitive search. You have Azure Security Center and Databricks, and there is enterprise grade security. So build and deploy models uh, in a secure manner. So there is network isolation and end-to-end private IP capabilities. As I've seen how to create a private endpoint in Machine Learning Studio, you can see. Then there is cost management, and there is hybrid and multi-cloud support. So basically, you can run machine learning algorithms on Kubernetes clusters or on-premise or even in multi-cloud environment. Maybe you can run it in AWS or even in GCP. So that is giving multi-cloud enhancement. So still it's processing. And there is also reinforcement learning, like scale reinforcement learning to powerful compute clusters, support multiple agent scenarios, and there is access open source reinforcement learning. There is experimentation. So there is, so you can also use drag and drop like a designer tool. So if I share the screen and show, it's still in deployment phase, because since it is a big service, it's going to take a lot of time to be creating. Still, it is in deployment phase. So I'm going to just move forward, and soon as it finishes, I'm going to show how it works. So Azure DevOps, there is Azure DevOps, there is GitLab, GitHub Actions, and Azure Devs Test Labs. So these are more of the core solutions of Azure. So when you come to Azure DevOps, so what is Azure DevOps? So Azure DevOps provides developers services for allowing teams to plan, collaborate on code development, and also build and deploy applications. So Azure DevOps supports collaborative culture and set of processes that bring together project managers and contributors to develop a software. So there are mostly three important things in this. So that is the Azure repos, the pipelines, the boards, and the test plans. So what is Azure repos? It's like a Git repositories or a team foundation. Which okay, take example of Git repositories only. So you can take the codes from the Git repositories and put it into the Azure repos, and you can build and release service, or support continuous integration and delivery of your applications via the Azure pipelines. Azure boards is like a set of agile tools which is used to support planning and tracking your work codes, defects, and issues using the Scrum methods. So, and when you have Azure artifacts, which allows teams to share packages such as the npm packages and more of a public and a private sources. So this was about Azure DevOps. So even in the Azure portal also you can see this. I'm going to show just the service. So this sorry, I have to show you the machine learning. So yeah, so you'll get the studio URL. So where did I get the studio URL? So it's here itself. So you are just creating the machine learning services. So you get the studio. The so I'm just going to take the tour of this. So here you have automated ML. So I was telling about, you can run your automated code MLs here, and you have the designer, yeah. So I can just use the components to pre-build. So basically there are data sets already built in Azure, like the flight delays data, the German credit card, the UCIs. So you can draw something like this. So here you can use any of the notebooks which is written in Python or the ML related languages, the experiments, the pipelines. So these are the machine learning real-time endpoints that are used for real-time interfacing. Like if you are using in a production environment, then you can use this. So if I want, yeah, see there is already PyTorch environment. So there are different flavors of the environment which is available already in Azure. Also, you can use the custom environment which you can create on your own by using the Docker image or by using the Python packages. So basically, I think you can use the image classification. Yeah, this is the place where you can design the components actually. Since it is a sponsorship account, I'm not able to do anything. So this was about the machine learning studio. It's the same way as you use in AWS, which is the SageMaker studio. Same way you have it in Microsoft. You can see you have seen all the resources in Azure Machine Learning Studio. Coming back to the next part, which I had to show, yeah, the Azure DevOps. So Azure DevOps is in a different page. So here it is asking, can this person switch the directory or continue? I would like more information. So it's like a different app. So it's also asking, where do you want to host your projects in DevOps? Like any location you can host your projects. So I've chosen South India since I'm from. So I'll choose East US or Central US and continue. So it's taking your okay, I missed the characters. I'm so sorry. So it's taking a bit of time. Yeah. So this is the Azure DevOps window. So here you can pull the requests. It will show whatever you have pulled from the Git, or these are the work items. These are the favorites. So I'm going to create a private project named demo. So basically, I told you about the repos, the dashboards. So you can add a widget like resize, build history, display burn down across multiple teams, and create multiple sprints. So this acts like a scrum master basically. Then you have the Azure boards. So basically, I can create a new item to do whatever you want to do, like, or you can do analytics on whatever is created, cumulative analytics. But there is no workflows as of now. I've not added anything. This is the Azure repos. So you can clone this to the Git repository, or you can clone this in the VS Code, the Visual Studio Code. So you have everything built in. So you can git add remote origin or import a repository from the Git and to the Azure DevOps. So which is giving wide variety of features. So you can also create pipeline. So where is your code? So just imagine there is a YAML code in my GitHub account. So you can go and check. So you can it'll ask for authorizing the Azure pipeline. Basically, there is an authentication between the Azure DevOps pipeline and the GitHub. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just showing how it is done. So I guess you have got the idea of how the Azure DevOps is working. Just a basic idea. And GitHub is, yeah, you have seen how the Azure DevOps is linked into GitHub. how you can take the files from your GitHub account to the Azure DevOps. So there is continuous deployment and continuous integration using the GitHub. Next comes the PowerShell, the Azure portal, PowerShell, the Azure CLI, the Cloud Shell. So I'm just going to share the screen and show it. So this is the CLI. Yeah, so this is the CLI. I'm so sorry I have. So basically I'm going to copy. So here you have the flexibility of choosing PowerShell or the Bash shell. You can power it off. You can create a, you can upload or download files. You can open a new session. You can open also an editor and search the web preview. Basically, I'm going to, so if I type AZ, it will show. Or if you want to learn, see, yeah. So it is showing welcome to Azure CLI. Use the as.h to see what are the commands available. The Azure CLI collects the usage data in order to improve your experience. So the data is anonymous and does not include any command line values. So basically, you'll get to know what are the basic commands. So for everything, when you're starting to use the commands, so you're supposed to use AZ. I'm just using this. So it's giving the list of my environment. So what is the cloud name? Azure Cloud. What is the tenant? I think this is a subscription ID. So what tenant it is managed, the tenant ID, and the name of the subscription. The state is enabled. The cloud shell ID. The username and the type user. So this is about the cloud. The CLI, the command line. Then you can go to the. You can also switch to PowerShell. So it's just connecting to PowerShell. So I think you can take the host name. So this is the host name, or you can take ipconfig command. Sorry, I think ipconfig command is not recognized here. So I can use get help so that I can get to know what are the commands and what is it used. So the topic is like getting started with PowerShell in Azure Cloud CLI. It explains. So basically, if you use the get help command, you'll get to know what are the modules and what is the online help. So you'll get examples how to list the information of a file storage and all the commands how to write it in the PowerShell. So this is about the PowerShell and the Bash. So coming back to the slide. So we have Azure Advisor. So everybody wants to just imagine if everybody wants to advise everybody like, okay, do this, do that, this is going to help you. So same way you have Azure, but same way you have an Azure, but Advisor is like a personal cloud consultant. Like I told, someone is who is concerned about you, and he's like a personalized consultant who works only for you, that helps you to follow best practices to optimize your Azure deployments. It is used to analyze your resource configuration and use telemetry, and then it recommends solutions that helps you to improve the effectiveness, performance, and reliability. So with advisor, what can you do? So you can get proactive, it can be actionable, and you are personalized for best practice recommendations, improve the performance, security, the reliability issues. So I'll just share the screen and show how it looks. Yeah, so here it is giving me recommendation. So one resource is having. So basically, I told there is a reliability issue, I guess, in mind. So the operational level it is recommended as 4. The performance you are following all the performance recommendations. So basically, I got a tick mark for this. I guess there are 3. So basically, it's like advising. So and you also get to know the advisor's score. So yeah, because I think I have no subscription. So I think there's a security issue. See, SQL databases should have vulnerability findings resolved. See, these are the operational experience. I think no validation enabled. And I have used these services. I have not enabled these stuff. So it's going to tell like I have done so and so stuff, which is not good for the operation of these resources. And the recommendations also. So you'll get to know like whatever is done. So this is about Azure Advisor. Next, coming to Azure Monitor. So you need to monitor all the things what you're going to do. So Azure Monitor helps you to maximize the availability, the performance of your applications and services. So it delivers a comprehensive solutions for collecting, analyzing, and acting on the telemetry of the cloud. So basically, you get to monitor things. Monitor. So there are few examples how you can correlate to the monitors. You can detect and diagnose the issues across applications, dependencies with application insight, correlate with the infrastructure issue with VM insights and container insights. So you can drill into your monitoring data with log analytics for troubleshooting and deep diagnostics. So when you're coming to the overview, as you can see the diagram, you are seeing the high level view of Azure Monitor. So at the center of the diagram, you can see the data stores for metrics and logs. So these are the two types of data which is used by Azure Monitor. So on the left, you can see the sources of monitoring data that populate these data stores. And on the right, you can see the different functions that Azure Monitor performs, like application, operating system, Azure resources, Azure subscription, Azure tenant, customers, custom sources. So all the data collected by Azure Monitor fits into one of the two fundamental types, metrics or logs. So metrics are what? It's like the numerical values that describe some aspect of system at a particular point in time. They are lightweight and capable of supporting real-time scenarios. So logs are kind of different kind of data that is organized into log like a record with different set of properties at each time. So I'm going to show you the demo of it. Yeah, to provide access to Azure resources, you must first register your service provider. So, so basically, you must be a subscription owner to create a registration. So I'm not able to create monitoring. So I guess based on the application, you have got to know what is this about. Yeah, coming to the next part of it, we have Azure Service Health. So, health is the most important thing for everybody, even for the humans, even for the machines. Health is important. So, what is Azure Service Health? So, you need to state information and take action when the service issues like outages and planned maintenance affect. So, so what might be the issue in service health? So, service health is like you might have been tempted to visit like how the service might have become outage. So Azure recommends you to check the service health as why the status of the page only reports major or widespread outages, and which why it does not include any planned maintenance or other health advisories. So you need to visit the service health. So I'm going to share the screen again and show you how it is done. Yeah, so basically I have not added a health service alert. So since if you add an health alert, so you can create an alert. I think 188 services are going to give the service alert. So you can specify the alert name like the outage and description based on that, and then create a rule. So it's going to create a rule. So basically planned maintenance are like if there might be some maintenance on, maybe the VM is gone down or they are going to upgrade the version of the VM from the backend. So that time you'll get the health histories. I guess there are no health histories. Yeah, and you'll also get advisories how you're going to improve the health of the resource and resource health. Like imagine your resources like maybe a VM or maybe the Kubernetes service is not running. So that time you'll get to see the resource health. So which resource is not running. So then you can actually there will be, after you create the resource health alert, you'll get a summary file where you can download the summary file and check what is the update given by Azure, why is this happening. So basically you'll get to know, like it's like basically you're seeing a health report. Similar way it is in Azure. So that was about Azure Service Health. So you might have one thing, what is the difference between Azure Monitor and why are we using Service Health? So to review the health of your apps, we use the Azure Monitor, and to assess the health of Azure, we use the Service Health. So I guess you got the point. Only to review the health of the monitor. So basically, monitor is going to identify any issues on your end. So it gives a way to collect, analyze, and act on the telemetry. And when you start troubleshooting, you want to answer the question: Is it me or is it Azure? Is it the mistake from our end or is it from the Azure end? So to make sure that Azure as a platform is not having any problems, so you want to check for the service health. So you might already know about any issues affecting the service health. This I mean issue. So basically, I've shown you in the portal how it shows off. So then you can also set up future events. So basically, this was about the service health and Azure Monitor. When you're coming to Azure Service Center, so this mostly includes about the compliance issues, security alerts, secure score, and the resource hygiene. So I have shown you how the resource score looks like when you go to the Azure Advisor. The Azure Advisor basically gives you the resource score. Azure Security Center. So, just a minute, I'm going to show how it looks. Yes. So this is the security center. So we noticed you're not getting any security recommendations for identity access. Basically, it's asking me to start the Azure Security Center for free trial. So here it. So as you have seen in that PPT, like how it looks. There are different authentication methods. Okay, I don't have access to this. There is password protection, registration campaign, the user registration details. Basically, these all are related to the Azure Active Directory. So this is about the security. So you might have concerns like how your data might be secured in Azure. So the Azure Security Center will make sure with the compliance issues, the compliance in the trusted cloud, how you develop your solutions on a platform which is created using some of the most rigorous security and compliance standards. So basically how it offers compliance is like it is going to offer the benchmarks. So they are going to give the CSI benchmark, or they're going to give you global ISO standards, or based on the governments in the world, around the world, like the US government benchmarks. For the financial services, you need different benchmarks. So basically Azure has 90 compliance certificates, so you need to show the proof, right, how your service is compliant to so and so governance. So you're supposed to show. Basically Azure is having 90 compliance certifications, which include over 50 specific to the global regions like the US, European Union, Germany, Japan, and China. And there are different rules for different nations. So as you can consider, for Azure China, basically Azure, Microsoft Azure China is not operated completely by Azure. It is operated by 21 via net. So Microsoft Azure operated by 21 via net, by that is Azure China. It is like a physical separated instance of cloud services which is only located for the China. It is independently operated and it is transacted by the Shanghai Technologicals. So based on the agreement made by the Azure operations, I mean made by that 21 and Azure. So in that way it runs. So that is like the compliance issue or the governance between Azure and Azure China and Azure, the China government and Microsoft Azure. So here you can see the documentation. So here you can see 5 steps to identify your infrastructure. Like basically it opens a new tab. This is like just a deployment guides. It's like a documentation kit, how basically you're going to manage your security in Azure. So Azure Keyword. What is Keyword? It's like a locker service, or what is it? So it's intriguing when you hear the word world. So the present world, in the present scenario, you can see more and more organization migrating to the cloud service providers to get more advantage with cloud computing. Like you have seen, I have told about in the first day about cost saving, security, flexibility, mobility, and sustainability. Out of those, security is like a critical aspect because everybody needs to store the sensitive data. So when you're coming about key vault, so the service mainly focuses on secret management. So the key vault service can be used to securely store the control access of secrets such as the authentication keys, storage accounts, passwords, tokens. Then, like I told, the data encryption keys, the certification management, the SSL certificates, or the transport layer service certificates, which is seamlessly used for the Azure integrated services. And basically there are, obviously you have in Azure the standard and the premium tier. Basically when you're using the standard, it's only used for storing and managing cryptographic keys. When you're using premium, it is going to give a managed pool for storing and managing the backend cryptographic keys. So that is about Azure Keyword. So what is like a secret in Azure Keyword? It is like a small data, maybe up to 10 KB in size, which is used in the authorization or in the user's applications to help with the help of a keyword. Basically, it helps in mitigating the risk associated with the storage. And what are the keys? So these are the keys which is used to authorize application to perform any operation while invoking any of the functions. So like a secret key, maybe it's like you want, it's like a house key. Without the key, you cannot enter the house. So same way, without putting the key or the password, you are not able to enter the application. Same way, you can store this key. And you also have the key vault owner who administrated the key. Maybe like if take a rented house, maybe the owner has a key who can enter to the house, something like that, to specify various authenticating operations. So I guess I can show you what is Azure Key Vault. Yeah, so here you can create a key. So here basically I've told the definitions of how it is being used. You can create it via the resource group. You can take any resource group or you can create a particular resource group only for this. Enter the name, maybe soft delete. It's like this protection will be automatically enabled on this, because if you delete this, it has to recover the keywords maybe at some point of retention. I mean, you need it maybe sometime, so it's going to retain for some amount of time. And there is policy access, like Azure virtual machines enable access to this or so and so. And then you have networking capabilities. How are you connecting to the key vault, whether it is private endpoint or public or selected networks? So review and create. So basically I have already created one. So here you can see the keys. So you can create. Okay, I'm not able to create because of the operation. I think because of the Azure subscription, I'm not able to create. So these are the secrets you can create. So certificates like the SSL certificates and the transport layer certificates, networking. So basically, you can allow access from all networks or basically from selected networks. So this is about keywords. I hope it's clear. If there is any doubt, please.
No, there are no doubts as of now.
Yeah,
So you
okay,
can continue.
okay, fine. So network security groups, NSGs. So what is NSG? Is it like a firewall, or what is the benefit of using NSGs? So basically, you don't want everybody uh, to filter into your traffic from Azure resources in an Azure virtual network. So basically, what does this network security group contains is security rules. So basically, they have the inbound or the outbound rules. So just imagine you are in a home and you want some of them uh, to enter the home, and you don't want others to come in. So you have some kind of rules like so and so you have to enter the home before 10 o'clock. So those who enter the home by 10 o'clock, so they can enter the house. Similar way here you can provide the inbound rules. Just imagine your incoming some traffic from the internet. So that you can use outbound rules. So basically, similar way when you imagine when you check out from in a hotel. So basically, you have to check out at 11 a.m. So that is like you're going out. Similar way, you have outbound rules in Azure where you're going to out outbound network traffic from several types of Azure resources. For each rule, you can specify the source and destination protocol. So and there is I'll show you. I'll share the screen and show how it is done, just for a better picture. So there are already so many NSGs. Just going to enter into one. So you can see these are the rules which I was talking about, inbound and the outbound. So if I go to any of these rules, so you can see the source. Okay, I guess you can't see any. So I'm going to add one inbound rule. So you can see the source, destination address, source port range, custom service. So you can take any service like HTTP, SSH, Secure Shell, MySQL, Postgres. There are so many services which is available. And the protocol, whether it is the transport control protocol, the UDP, the ICMP protocol, and this is the priority. So what is like priority? So priority maybe between you have a number from 100 to 4096. So rules are processed in priority order. So when you give the priority order with lower numbers are processed before higher numbers. So basically if I give a rule as 100, so that is processed first. Once traffic matches a rule, processing stops. As a result, any rules that exist with low priorities will have the same attributes as the higher properties. So basically you can add a port rule. So these are by default. So this was the rules which I had added. So 65,000, and these are the default rules which is already present before you create any NSGs. I mean, when you create NSGs, these are default rules which are there, and then you have the subnets. So I can associate subnet. Okay, I can use the default subnet. And I'm going to save the subnets. Then you have NIC cards. So basically, NIC cards are used to connect via the internet. So you can associate or dissociate this, disable the extended networking. So you can dissociate the NIC cards to a VM, like dissociate, like removing the NIC cards from that. So I can dissociate it. That is about the energy. So basically, it's like just like a firewall rule only, similar way. So NSG is like a security group to refine networks from and to the Azure VNet. So it is like an OSI layer 3 and 4 in the network security service. So it comprises of several security rules that users can allow or deny. Same way I showed you inbound and outbound, allow or deny. So these rules are evaluated based on the 5 tuple hash values from the source IP address. So I guess I'm taking a lot of time. I'm going to go for the Azure Firewall. So coming to Azure Firewall. So how does Azure Firewall works? So Azure Firewalls offers various features to ensure optimum control over the network traffic that flows in the internet. So with high built-in availability, it eliminates the need of load balancer configuration, and features enable high availability. When you're using Azure Firewall, it gives 99.99% availability. So Firewall also offers scalability options without any extra cost. You can use rules to filter out network-based IP. So we can say that network security group is like a firewall, but that time when I sold energy, it's like a basic one. So when you're coming to Microsoft provided solution to filter the network layer, Azure File is like a robust service with tons of features to ensure maximum protection is given to your resource, and to regulate traffic depends on the authenticity. So basically, it's like you're getting L3, L4 traffic as well as the level layer 7 application traffic. So it offers the same capabilities but with more addition, like the FQDN tags, where this feature is lacked by the NSG. And another major difference is that Azure Firewalls allows you to mask the IP address, the source, and the destination, while the NSG is not. So there is also threat intelligence based filtering in NSG, and whereas this is feature is also present in, I mean, there is no threat intelligence is present in NSG. Like there, you can identify what's the source and the destination, but in Firewall, you cannot identify what is the source and the destination. So basically, it is hiding the IPs. So I guess I can share the screen and show Azure Firewall rules. So I'm going to go to the next part of it, which is the DDoS protection. So what is DDoS? So Azure DDoS is like a standard combined with application design best practices, which provides enhanced mitigation features to defend. So you have to help and protect your services from these DDoS attacks. So Azure protects DDoS is it protection enables you to protect your Azure services from the denial of service, distributed denial of services DDoS attacks with always on monitoring and automated network traffic attacks. So basically, when it comes to DDoS attacks, it may be some of the largest vulnerability which you're maybe facing by some customers. To basically, it is going to exhaust your resources which are using an application, making it unavailable to legitimate users. Maybe it's like a cyber attack. So Azure DDoS provides standard combined with applications to design best practices to avoid this. So it is automatically tuned to help and protect specific customers. Like you have the implementation of the web application firewall. So DDoS protection standard is designed for services that are deployed in a virtual network. So this is mainly used for the dedicated Azure services in a virtual network. You can communicate with the resources privately through the IP address. So that is about Azure DDoS protection. Next, you have the multi-factor authentication. Basically, you need, so you, in if you use the common Gmail, you have the two-factor authentication. You can use the single sign-in method. Basically, somebody is going to enter into your device. So to enhance the better protection, basically you can link that account to the mobile phone via the app. So or there is single sign-on, maybe using the biometric transform. I mean biometric information. Also, you can use that. So this is about MFA. And next comes the privacy and security compliance and the trust center. So what is Azure Trust Center? So it's like a centralized resource which is going to document the adherence to the international and the regional security complex, like how maybe there is different security standards of data for India and US. Maybe there is no net neutrality in India, and in other countries there may be some of the privileges. And you get the detailed information on security and privacy policies, practices, and product features of each and every place, like how the service has to be deployed, where the data has to be deployed. So this is about the Cost management, like the optimization, visibility, accountability, like how are you going to manage the resources. And last is coming the SLAs. So what is SLA? SLA is like service level agreement. This is very important. So basically take a virtual machine for SLA. So for all virtual machines, they have two or more instances deployed across two or more availability zones in the same Azure region. So we have to guarantee at least that one of the VM is running 99%, maybe all the time. So the service agreement is given by the 21 via net online services. This is SLA. So this is part of a volume licensing. Maybe okay, I'm going to this give this much. Maybe it may be the agreement for these two parties which is going to give the SLA. So these what is it? This just I mean definitions. There are different definitions like a claim. Claim means it is submitted by a customer to the person who's going to give this SLA, like a service level that has to be met between the service credit. Maybe imagine there is a ticket and you're not performing that action, and there is a time limit for the SLA, maybe from 0 to 100%. So you're not responding to the ticket, it gets breached because you're not performing. So when this kind of breach happens, Azure has to provide credits to the customer. Maybe he's going to offer that service free of cost for one whole month, or maybe he's going to give going to offer credit to that customer. So that is important to follow the SLA. And there are SLAs for the data which is stored. So basically there are many exclusion also. So the SLA may be not does not apply to any performance or availability issue. The performance does not depend on the SLA. So that is resultant from the customer's use of hardware. Basically, how the customer is going to use the hardware, or how is he going to manage the resources. So that is managed by customer. So due to customer's use of the service in a manner of inconsistent, maybe is using inconsistently, so that time the SLA won't come into picture. That is to deal with the customer itself. So that time there is no credit given by Azure. So that is the thing I wanted to tell. So basically, you have SLA details for the availability set, fault domains, operating disk, virtual connectivity, and basically monthly uptime calculations also are dependent on the service level. Like what was the total downtime? So basically, I have given you downtime should be only zero point 0.1, but due to some issues, the downtime has gone increased to maybe 5%. So that time Azure is going to give you credit, but credit for the loss of the business, maybe in some cases that's rare occurring. So uh, so I think this question might come, the monthly uptime percentage. This is very important because I had got this question in my exam. So I guess I'll just post this formula, like how the monthly uptime is calculated. So this is how you can calculate the monthly uptime for your service which you're using in Azure. So I think you might get a question in this. So I that's all for today. I
Okay, just a second. Give me a minute, please.
Sure.
Thank you, Niksha. Thank you giving some your incredible insights about Azure, so SLAs and all these things. So we have one question here. So okay, so these are about the practice, how to practice for the AZ-900 exam.
Yeah, so basically, I think you can go and see the syllabus first, like what topics are going to be covered first. So basically, start from the first topic, like the cloud concepts, go for the basic, and then try and get hands-on experience, get your hand dirty on the Azure portal. So you get to know like what are the resources and the services being used. Read the documentation. Documentation is way more important, and then you can prepare for the go through each and every topics, don't miss out. So when you see the syllabus, you'll get to see the I'll just share the screen and show how the syllabus looks. So if you can see, so you can go to the official site of AZ900 and download this. So it's going to tell how much weightage of questions, I mean, how many number of questions might be coming from this. So they're giving the weightage, like how much 20 to 25% is going to come from this part, 15% is coming from this, 10%. So based on the percentage given, you can take this advantage of the syllabus and use like what are you going to study. And I would like to suggest, like if you're going to take the certification in the later part, there might be syllabus changes. So just go to the syllabus and check whatever is the extra things which is included. So basically you can see on top. So this is the version which was updated on May 5. I mean, this again will be updated on May 5th. So I think this is only valid till May 5. So before that, if you take the exam, it's going to be the same syllabus. So if you take it after May, then again the syllabus is going to change and a lot of things is going to be added. So basically,
So,
yeah.
so the question is here is like any website you will prefer for the practice questions to like so that they can get hands on with the AZ900 questions.
Any
Any
website.
website you have in mind?
I can suggest you one YouTube channel actually, which I had referred. I'll just share the link. Just a minute.
Hey all, I am Kasim. Welcome to my channel. Today in
Hello everyone, welcome back to Azure Fundamentals course. This is Adam and hey guys.
Uh, Maybe I guess Recode Camp might be a good option for this because they have very good syllabus, they have very good curriculum, and their tutors are also very good. So I
Yeah,
guess
sent one. You can also check this because he's having the full playlist of all the Azure fundamentals, basically.
okay. So let me share the YouTube link. So here is the YouTube link, guys. You can just check it out. This is shared by your mentor, so you can just check this link out. This will help you to for your revision in case you want to do the revision for AZ900 exam. You can just go through the video. Exact timestamps are there. I have seen. So you can go through the videos and directly jump off to the section that you want to work on. So thank you for this. Okay, so we got one more question, and it's regarding yes, you all will be getting the certification coupon vouchers. Those who have registered, they will be getting certification coupon vouchers and through their mail, and it you have to follow a certain process for that. So I'm sharing the link with you all. So here is the link that you have to follow, and there, if you will go to the certification channel, there is a. If you will go to our Azure Developer Community channel, there is a point there where it's called hashtag certification. Just go to hashtag certification point, and there you will find some instruction that you have to follow to claim your certification coupon vouchers. Right? So it will be very fruitful for you. So if you will do this today only, because so that we can process your certification vouchers in a week or something like that. And the last point announcement from my side is we are starting again one more initiative that is based on 15 days AR quiz. That is basically some AR effects or some augmented reality things and some more things that are offered by Microsoft. So do participate in the quiz. That is, the quiz will be hosted is going to be hosted on the same and quiz our Discord channel. So do participate in the quiz. I'm sharing the link with you all. And no registration, nothing required. You just have to be there at the time of the quiz. Okay, so thank you guys. Thank you for joining in. And
Thank you, guys.
yeah, thank you, Niksha. Thank you for joining as a speaker. It was very nice interacting with you. I really personally very enjoyed to hosting you. So thank you, everyone. And still, if you have any doubts, okay, just a second. I just allow me a minute. I'm just doing one thing. Okay. Okay, so here is the LinkedIn profile. I guess what is happening. So here is the LinkedIn profile of our speaker. So you can just go to LinkedIn, do connect with her. So if you have any doubts in future, so you can ask anything regarding this bootcamp or anything. And in case you find any difficulty in everything, so you can just ping us on our Discord channel too. We are very happy to answer your queries. Okay, or you can just drop us a mail too. So thank you guys. Thank you for joining in. Thank you, Niksha. Have a nice day, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank
Happy
you for the
listening.
opportunity.
Thank you.